And good evening, everybody. Let me do a little adjust here. Sorry for the lateness of the game, but we wanted to do something a little different. Boy, are we lucky to be here, and are you lucky to be there? This is after the first half. Our no, this is the NFL after the first half. Sports finals, traditional as of week one this year. Look at the 1 p.m. games and our preview of the Sunday and Monday night games still to come. So, without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Give you all the scores. Give you all the scores. Hello. Oh, oh boy. Bollocks. There we go. Let's get uh, get you a little touch there. Thank you. And that should clear us up, and it does. So why don't we do that one more time? And let's get you up to date on all the games that occurred during the 1 o'clock hour and get you with the top 25. Uno, if you wouldn't mind. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get to it. Let's first get you updated on the late games that are just starting and getting underway. Like, for example, Broncos have the ball 4th and 18 on Chargers 43, but they are scoreless at 11 minutes, 9 seconds to play in the opening quarter. It is still nothing Chargers, Broncos. 20 seconds remaining in a very close game. Right now, it is Buccaneers 38. Indianapolis Colts 31. We're going to declare that a win for the Buccaneers. We'll give you all the stats that we can on our midnight broadcast, the L2C, or the former show, former name, the Sports Final at midnight for the full detail, and of course Tuesday night for the top 5 and the rest. Another final score, the Atlanta Falcons, they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-14. And another shocker. Man, last week you thought was shocking. This week, we definitely got some shocks for you. The Miami Dolphins seem to have found a late surge. They have just beat the Carolina Panthers by a score of 33-10. And double that shock, the New York Jets just dumped the Houston Texans in an embarrassing way, 21-14. Also, final. Boy, this ain't going to look good for anyone. The New York Giants beat the Philadelphia Eagles 13-7. Cincinnati Bengals have just beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 41-10. Well, here's the only normal score we can think of. The Patriots beat the Tennessee Titans 36-13. 425 games still to come. Rams, Packers, Vikings, 49ers. We'll set those games up for you in a few moments. Right now, as you know, we do have to preview the Sunday and Monday night games. And wow. On a day where turkeys are grateful that, well, their day came and went, we had a few turkeys in football. Speaking of which, the AP Top 25 just came out. I have not seen them, so we will review them together. Let's give you the Ravens and Browns matchup. Of all the times Lamar Jackson has rescued the Baltimore Ravens in his young career, last season's game at Cleveland stood out. Star quarterback left the game with cramps and returned for a 4th down play and threw a long touchdown pass to Marquise Brown, part of a back-and-forth final quarter in which the Ravens ultimately won on Justin Turner's 55-yard kick with 2 seconds left. Now, it's a year later, the Ravens host the Browns this Sunday night in the first meeting between the two teams since that December night. Like last season, the stakes are high. Baltimore leads the AFC North, and Cleveland is in last place, but just 1.5 games separate the two teams. Interesting. And when they met in December, the Ravens were finally starting to return to form after a COVID-19 outbreak. They were outscored 22-13 in the fourth quarter, but still won 47-42. Jackson came back in the game with Baltimore down by one after backup Trace McSorley was injured on a third down play. Jackson immediately threw a 44-yard touchdown pass to Brown, but then Baker Mayfield led Cleveland on a touchdown drive that tied it at 42. Tucker's field goal broke the tie, and then there was one more bizarre twist. The Browns tried to lateral their way to an improbable winning touchdown, but instead they went backwards into their own end zone. The safety made Baltimore's winning margin 5 points. The opening line had the Ravens favored by 3. Baltimore has had several more escapes this season, including last weekend when Jackson was too ill to play. Backup Tyler Huntley led the Ravens to the winning touchdown in the final minute against Chicago. Jackson is expected to return this weekend. His absence was just the latest near crisis for Baltimore, which lost its top 2 running backs before the season even started. Brown also missed last weekend's game with a thigh problem. The Ravens and Browns meet twice in the next 3 weeks. Cleveland actually plays 2 games in a row against Baltimore with its open date in between. The Ravens played only one AFC North team this season, losing 41-17 at home to Cincinnati. That was on October 24th. 5 of their final 7 games are within the division. Cleveland's top-ranked running game is back at full speed. Kadeem Hunt is one of the NFL's best combo backs. He returns after missing 5 games with a calf injury. In addition to being a quality changeup for star Nick Chubb, Hunt is one of the Browns' best receivers and an underneath weapon for Mayfield. Now, Ravens tight end Mark Andrews has been tough on the Browns with 5 touchdown catches in 6 career games. Cleveland's coverage of tight ends has been an issue and will be tested by Andrews, who comes in with 56 catches for 696 yards and 4 touchdowns. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, who has an affinity for tight ends, has high regard for Andrews, and we just lost the script. Ain't that nice? Give us a moment here. We'll find that thing. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Somewhere we're at. 5 games. Hunt is one of the Browns' best receivers and underneath weapon. We've already mentioned that. The Browns' offense has been the same without Hunt, who's a threat to score from anywhere. Now, Ravens tight end Mark Andrews has been tough on the Browns, and Cleveland's coverage tight ends has been an issue and will be tested by Andrews, who comes in with 56 catches, 496 yards. Browns coach Kevin Stefanski, who has an affinity for tight ends, has high regards for Andrews, Mayfield's teammate at Oklahoma. Now, since our move from Cleveland created the new Baltimore franchise, the Ravens are 33-11 against the Browns. John Harbaugh is 22-4 against Cleveland. This will be the 5th game of the season for the Ravens. They split the first 4. Harbaugh is 17-2 in primetime games at home. Browns Ravens, or Ravens Browns if you prefer. That's coming up tonight at 8:20. Right now, we are live. Right now, let's get you a plot of land, as it were. No, let's get back up here and preview tomorrow. Mildly big game. That is, of course, Seattle Seahawks. And now Taylor Heinicke saw what Russell Wilson was doing in college, and the NFL wanted to emulate him as a mobile quarterback. Now, what's next on Heinicke's list of childhood goals? Beat Russell Wilson. Heinicke will get that opportunity Monday night when he and Washington host Wilson and the struggling Seattle Seahawks. Washington has won 2 in a row to move to the fringe of the NFC playoff race, while the Seahawks are off to their worst 10-game record under Coach Pete Carroll and are looking to avoid their first 3-game losing streak with Russell as the starting QB. It's another big stage for Heinicke, who was a year ago out of football and seemed to raise his game under the lights. Washington hasn't won a Monday night home game since 2012, when Robert Griffin III was the team's quarterback as part of the notable rookie class that also included Wilson. Washington has rejuvenated some postseason hopes by beating defending champion Tampa Bay and Carolina to improve to 4-6. Things are less sunny for Seattle, which is coming off losses to Green Bay and Arizona since Wilson returned from a finger injury. Should Washington beat Seattle? Seahawks open as a 3.5-point favorite on FanDuel Sportsbook, with the betting line quickly moving to Washington -1. The recent play of Coach Ron Rivera's team has shifted the perception of Washington from an also-ran to a potential playoff contender. The NFC East looked out of reach, but a victory tomorrow night would put Washington within 2 games of division leading Dallas, with 2 games against the Cowboys plus 2 against the Eagles and 1 more against the Giants left on the schedule. Washington had by far the NFL's worst third down defense through the first 4 games of the season, allowing opponents to convert 59.7% of opportunities. That pace would have made it the worst third down showing by any team, and once again, we lose our place. Showing by any team since at least the year 2000. In the past 2 games, Washington has allowed a 31.6% conversion rate on third downs. Impressive considering that came against Tom Brady and Cam Newton. Meanwhile, Seattle has gone the other way. They've allowed the Packers and Cardinals to go to a combined 14 of 28 on third downs, and on offense went 9 of 25 over the same stretch. Seattle's starting cornerback opposite DJ Reed was an unsettled position through the first quarter of the season until rookie Trey Brown got healthy. It's back to being unsettled after Brown was lost for the rest of the regular season because of a significant left knee injury last week against Arizona. Brown underwent successful surgery to repair the patellar tendon. Sidney Jones stepped in after Brown went down and played much better than he did earlier in the season. Jones seems likely to start, but Seattle's situation is exacerbated by Reed's status. Reed didn't play against the Cardinals due to knee and groin injuries. Jonathan Allen has been Washington's best defensive player all season, and his role in the pass rush is even more important with Chase Young and Montez Sweat out with injuries. Allen leads the team with 6 sacks and is the leader of a unit that is finally starting to live up to lofty preseason expectations. Now, Pete Carroll keeps saying that Seattle needs to be more consistent with the run game, but for whatever the reason, it's not translating to game day. Seattle seemed intent on establishing its ground game last week against Arizona, then abandoned that plan in the second half. Seattle has just had 7 run plays in the second half against the Cardinals and finished with 19 rushes in the game. It doesn't help that the Seahawks rank last in the league in total offensive plays by a wide margin, so there's been less opportunity to get the run game started. When they do run the ball, the Seahawks are averaging 4.3 yards a carry, right in the middle of the pack around the league, but the Seahawks have failed to top 100 yards rushing as a team in 4 consecutive games. Seahawks, Washington, Monday night at 8:15 over on ESPN with the Manning Cast on ESPN2. Now let's get you updated once again on the scores of the 1 p.m. games and some of the 4 o'clock games that have already started. Of course, the game that just concluded, Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Indianapolis Colts 38-31. Atlanta Falcons over the Jacksonville Jaguars 21-14. Some shockers, Miami Dolphins over the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers 33-10. New York Jets over the Houston Texans 21-14. The New York Giants over the Philadelphia Eagles 13-7. Bengals over the Steelers 41-10. Patriots over the Titans 36-13. And right now in the early goings, Rams Packers 12:46 left in the opening quarter, and still no score. Rams with the ball, 4th and 6 on their own 41. San Francisco with the ball, 1st and 10 on their own 29. They and the Packers just started. There are 14:16 remaining in their opening quarter. And meanwhile, with 4:39 remaining in the opening quarter, Broncos and Chargers also scoreless. That is going to wrap things up for us here on NFL after the first half. We will talk to you tonight at midnight. Oh, we're not done yet. No, sir. I just forgot. We usually do this and we are going to do this. It is time right now, before we say our au revoirs, to give you the top 25 Associated Press football poll. And yesterday, wow, was a stunner. And today is even a bigger stunner. Let's go to the 25 of the Associated Press, which in the top, I'm going to say top 6, could be a precursor to Tuesday night's CFP rankings show. But right now, let's give you the top 25 in the Associated Press college football poll. At number 25, Kentucky. Number 24, Texas A&M. Let's get that off there, guys. Let's get that off there. Come on, thank you. Number 24, Texas A&M. Number 23 is Arkansas. Number 22, Clemson. Number 21, North Carolina State. Number 20, Louisiana. Number 19, San Diego State. Number 18, Wake Forest. Number 17, Pitt. Number 16, Houston. Number 15, Iowa. Number 14, Utah. And I'm going to get my little friend over here so I don't see them. Number 14 is Utah. Number 13 is Oklahoma. Number 12, BYU. Number 11, Michigan State. Not bad for Michigan State. Oregon is 10th. 9th is Baylor. 8th is Ole Miss. Now, and 7th is Ohio State. Now, the top 6, let's explain. There was a lot of wildness going around in college football yesterday afternoon and evening, and some events took place that have literally shaken up the AP poll that may be a prediction of Tuesday night's college football playoff rankings. And here we go, folks. Number 6, Notre Dame. Number 5, Oklahoma State. And here are the top 4. Number 4, Alabama. After their tough win over Auburn that took 4 overtimes, Alabama is starting to crawl back. Number 3, Cincinnati. Number 2, Michigan. And number 1, Georgia. If the top 4 that we have just read to you of the Associated Press poll, the top 4, actually we'll go further, if the top 6 that we just read to you, Oklahoma State, Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, and Georgia, are going to be the top 6, and the top 4, Alabama, Cincinnati, Michigan, and Georgia, remain there in the college football playoff poll, we have got some big-time action taking place on New Year's Eve, and Michigan is going to be amongst them. I was hoping Michigan State would get a better position, but still, we got Big Ten championship game this Saturday. We got championship Saturday coming up, and even the AP, that ain't all the final. It ain't all written in stone just yet. We got the SEC championship, the Big Ten championship, the Big 12 championship. So many championships on Saturday, I've lost count. We'll bring you updates and a whole lot more on our Saturday edition of Sports Final in the Prudential College Football Scoreboard. The Big Ten season officially ended this past Saturday with Michigan versus Ohio State, etc. And we all know what happened there. Ohio State got spanked pretty hard. But this Saturday night at 7 o'clock, it is Michigan versus Iowa. The two have tangled before, with Michigan taking them to the woodshed. So we'll just see if Michigan can finally hoist up a Big Ten championship. That game, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern on Fox. Watch it with someone you love, and don't turn it off. I have a feeling Michigan is going to take it in Indianapolis. For us, we will see you on Tuesday night for sure with no technical issues, no being late. We want to be there to bring you the entire college football playoff rankings, including the Big Four. So we'll see you Tuesday night about 7:25, 7:30. We won't do an hour. We'll just do the 30 minutes, and we'll bring it all to you right here on L2C Sports and the L2C Media Network. But for now, that is it from the Tom O'Neill studio, from the Fred McLeod Sports Desk in the Tom O'Neill Studios here in Jackson. Steve Exley. We'll see you about midnight, about 5 minutes past midnight, for the Sunday edition of Sports Final with more football, more sports action, and maybe a couple of media reports as well. But for now, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the 4 o'clock games, enjoy your Sunday, and enjoy your Monday night football, folks. It is going to be 1 week we're all going to remember. So feast on, football fans, feast on. We'll see you at midnight, +5. This has been a presentation of Mystifying Creativity Productions in association with the L2C Media Network and L2C Sports. Talk to you at 12:05, right after the podcast I do at 11 o'clock. Good night, everybody.